Hello, y'all. Welcome back to the Personal Stylist Podcast. My name is Sydney, and I am your host on this wonderful personal styling journey. I am really excited to dive into this week's episode because it's something super near and dear to my heart. But first, I want to share with you all that I celebrated my 36th birthday this past weekend on the 19th. Do I have any other Libra October babies out there? And I gotta say, I love my 30s so much. I feel so much more grounded. I know where I'm going in life. I generally feel like a better all around human. And so I'm actually recording this episode early. So by the time this airs, I will have either gone on or will be going on a really awesome fall hike in the mountains of West Virginia, not West Virginia, Western Virginia, but almost West Virginia. There is a really beautiful waterfall. And technically that's only like a half a mile less than from the parking lot. So not really a hike, but we're going to try to hike in and around there. And it is one of my favorite places to be, is just being out in nature and traveling. And if you listen back to the first episode in this series, you'll know that's one of my core values, being able to travel and having the freedom to do that while impacting people. And that is one of the ways I know that I have designed my business to support me and to live up to my version of success, being able to travel and go on traveling and trips during the work week because I have designed it in that way. So let's tune in and get ready for today's episode. If you are just listening, if this is your first episode with us, I would really invite you to go back and listen to episode 33. That is the beginning of this 4-part series. The episode today is part 3. So episode 33 is where we work through an exercise to help you write your own definition of success. In episode 34, we talk about standing for something and how that is really step 1 in being successful. Well, I guess step 2 in being successful in your styling business. So today we are going to talk about what would be step 3, I suppose, part 3 in the success series, which is to stick with it and avoid shiny objects. So once you have decided what you're standing for in your business, you know your ideal client, you know your niche, you have your signature service, your one and only goal as a business owner is to stick and do that one service until you've hit your definition of success with that service. So that may be a number of clients that you're working with. It may be you want to have 10 clients go through this service. It may be you want to make $3,000 a month with this service, or you want to make $20,000. I actually saw a tweet by a business strategist who I will share later. And she said, every 2 weeks, I tell my clients, do not create anything new until you are making $20,000 a month with your existing service. And that type of discipline and motivation can be very hard as entrepreneurs because a lot of times we are, like squirrels going after these shiny objects all of the time. But that is not going to be a recipe for your success. And I want to get into that and why that is not working. If you've been doing it, you probably know it's not working, but let's talk about why. So I'm going to share this awesome metaphor. This comes from my mentor, James Wedmore, the creator of Business by Design. And he has a metaphor that says, imagine your dream life, called Dream Island, is out across from you across the water. You're on shore and you really want to get to this island. So you start building a bridge. This bridge is your first service. And then you get really excited and you start building another bridge, which is your second service. Then you do another bridge, which is maybe an online style course. So you've got 3 bridges, but they're like halfway built, right? Because you've started one and then you've got an idea to do the other and you've got an idea to do the third. And they kind of work, but they're not great. They're not bringing you a lot of money. And what really has happened is you've fallen for the trap that we all fall for. And that is that more services equal more clients, which equals more money. And that gets you to your dream life. But by creating all 3 of these really small bridges, you've never really created and committed to one. The one bridge that is going to get you to the island in a really awesome way. When you can create one bridge, you're able to rework it, you're able to tweak it, you're able to make it better, and that is really that has already gotten you to your dream island. Once you're there and that's steady, then you can turn to a second bridge. But all too often we get that shiny object syndrome, right? We do a service for 3 months, we don't get any clients, so we think something is wrong with the service, and we scrap it and we start over and we think this must be it. This new iteration must be it. And yes, there may actually be something wrong with your service that you need to fix, but you haven't stuck with it long enough or asked enough clients for their feedback, and you haven't tweaked it enough to discover how to fix it, right? Because chances are if you created something and it's good and you have a few clients and you're not yet seeing the results you want with it, you haven't done it long enough to figure out what needs to shift and pivot. Because if you do that and you do it consistently, then you will be making that long bridge to your dream island. But if you don't, if you constantly pivot and you never make it great, then you're essentially shortcutting everything by working on another bridge only to repeat your pattern. So then you're stuck. So the business strategist that I found, her name was Maya Elious. I think I'm saying that right. It's spelled Elious. Is her last name. Maya is her first name. If you want to look her up. She posted a story recently that said, quote, "I don't start anything I'm not willing to put 5 years of work into. Success takes time," end quote. This hit me so hard because when I talk to clients and stylists about creating their signature services and creating their business, a lot of times stylists get so frustrated when they create something and they launch it once and they start it once and it doesn't do as well as they thought. And they think that it's a failure and they're ready to change it up and do something new, when in reality, they really haven't even seen the initial service through all of the way. They haven't done it, so they don't know how to really fix it or how to pivot it, right? And so there is something that is very different, and I want to make this clear distinction between tweaking and pivoting and reworking and stopping a service, right? And changing it completely to do something else. When you pivot or tweak or rework, you are keeping the core component of what you started with, but you're looking at it really strategically to say, where does this need more? What could I take out? Where's the weak link? How do I need my messaging to be different, my marketing to be different? You are continuing to offer and do the same service, but with minor tweaks as you do it. And so I see stylists all of the time, and I myself was 100% guilty of this when I first started styling. I was creating service after service that sounded good, but the moment it really didn't work or I didn't see any leads, I would ditch it and start something new, okay? And so yes, there are some reasons to ditch services, like I sort of alluded to, but if they aren't aligned with you, or if you haven't put a lot of thought into them, then you may need to ditch it. And a lot of times, often what I see as stylists, you may need to ditch your a la carte services and create a signature service, right? Because your old way of doing something was not working for you. But when you really have something that's aligned with you, that you feel good about, that you've created and causes a transformation, and if you have managed to sell even one of those, then chances are you're going to sell 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 40, but you're not going to ever get to those 40 if you stop with the 3 and you get their feedback and you tweak it and you do it again. So I would say in my experience, I will typically do something for about a year, and then I will evaluate and see where I need to tweak it, what I might need to pivot to, or how I'm going to evolve to make it better. I love a book called Good to Great that talks about success as this flywheel that gains momentum. You can think of it like those spinning wheels on a playground, if you've ever done those. In your first few pushes, you're holding onto the bar and you're running behind it and trying to run, you're trying to pick up that momentum, and it's really slow, it's really hard to push. But after a few pushes, you're really able to pick up speed, and that wheel goes faster and faster until eventually you have enough momentum for it to go on its own. You can jump on and enjoy the ride. Your business, your styling business, is just like this. Flat out, it takes time and years for you to get to that running and jumping on phase. As humans, we don't like that, right? We want that instant success, that instant gratitude. But having the understanding and mindset that if you want to be successful, One, you'll have created your own definition of success. You will be standing for something, but you will stop chasing shiny objects and you will start sticking with it. And when you do that, you will see success. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 35 of the Personal Stylist Podcast. We are in the middle of a success series, and we have one more to go. It's going to take us through October. And then I have some fun, exciting things all around launching and business goals and how to set goals, because we are going to be wrapping up the year that is 2020. And for some people, that may be good news. And the idea of 2021 coming is also great news. And we are gonna really look at goal setting, how I goal set, and thinking about what your goals are for 2021. So thank you so much again for tuning into this episode. I am Sydney, and I am your host over here on this podcast. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.